Thank you.
All right, when we continue, Somerville Mayor Joseph Curtatone takes us on a walking tour of the proposed new Assembly Row. If Somerville's Assembly Row development meets expectations, it'll be one of the most desirable neighborhoods in the Boston area. Among other things, the project should be a boon for bargain shoppers with a bevy of high-end retailers selling their wares at a sharp discount. But Somerville Mayor Joe Curtatone has one request: don't call Assembly Row an outlet mall. WGBH's Adam Riley has more.
For now, the Assembly Row development is a vast stretch of empty roadways and vacant lots. But Somerville Mayor Joe Curtatone speaks as if it's already a reality.
It's a vibrant, mixed-use neighborhood. It's a destination, a 24-hour central place where you'll live, work, shop, play.
As Curtatone tells it, Assembly Row will be a bit like Kendall Square on steroids, with high-tech businesses, a new T-stop, thousands of new residents, and a new waterfront park. Also on tap, a slew of high-end retail outlets, but not the way you find them in the suburbs.
It's not just destination shopping where you might get in your car and head out to the suburbs, blitzkrieg all the outlets, and then come back home. We want you to enjoy the shops, the waterfront, be on the active main streets.
All that is ambitious enough, but Curtatone also vows that instead of being a sterile new development, Assembly Row will have a distinctly Somervillian character.
Somerville is an eclectic mix of people from all over the country. We speak 52 languages, but we also have an interesting dynamic where 46% of the population is between the age of 22 and 35. People want to live in the urban core, and this is a lesson for all the Commonwealth.
For now, the Assembly Row project is being billed as Boston's next great neighborhood, but Curtatone admits that that label might not be entirely accurate.
Look, we're not Boston, but Boston's not Somerville. There's something unique about Somerville that sells itself.
Now the only challenge is getting it built.
All right, and joining me now is Somerville Mayor Joseph Curtatone. All right, why is it Somerville Row? I mean, this is the square, but come on.
It's more marketing from the developer.
Okay.
Row has been, along with Santana Row, Bethesda Row, some other projects, but it is in Assembly Square, and it is in Somerville, more importantly.
Okay, so that it really is Assembly Square, but you know. So you've got some federal stimulus money to help you with this.
Correct. We received about $13 million through the very intelligent decision by the governor to direct that money towards infrastructure in the down economy, which allowed for Assembly Square Drive, that main roadway, to be built, which leveraged more than $1.5 billion of private investment.
Do you already have high-tech businesses? Do you have big, retailers interested? I mean, who have you got lined up?
Here's what's going on right now. The stuff that's not so fancy is being built. The important things: the roadways, the water, the sewer, the utilities, which will allow the first 3 buildings to come out of the ground next spring. And that'll entail the first 480 residential units, the first 300,000 square feet of commercial and retail space, shops, boutiques, restaurants, the 6-acre park, the new T-station. At the same time, we're targeting and speaking with CEOs of the high-tech and nanotech and industry to think about the new office and R&D space in the development project.
Now, the residential space, as you no doubt are aware of, the residential space out in the Natick Collection, the new mall that went up there like 5 or 6 years ago, is a total bust. I mean, it was high-end, condo living, but billed as right above a mall, movie theaters, restaurants, but no one wanted to be there.
Well, we know in Somerville there's no shortage of desire to want to live there, and we can't keep up with the amount of demand.
Yeah, except for right now it's all the quirky neighborhoods. This is going to be...
Well, this isn't interesting. But now you have an incredible asset in the Mystic River. You have a 6-acre waterfront park. You have a T-station. You're one stop from downtown action. And geographically, you're located...
You mean downtown Boston?
Downtown Boston. You're around this. So they're our next Somerville neighborhood in downtown. But again, you're between Harvard, Tufts, MIT. You're in around and surrounding all our great neighborhoods in Somerville, from Union Square to Davis Square. And we know from initial market surveys that demand is high to live there. In fact, the 4th building, the next residential building, is going to be accelerating.
And are they affordable? I mean, what's the price?
12.5% of the units will be affordable. They will be very desirable apartments for living. So marketing from everyone, young and old, from people who are empty nesters to young hipsters, 22 to 35, to young professionals, people starting off. We're going to serve an eclectic mix of people, which is so Somerville.
And what's the price range for those who aren't in the
Well, there'll be
affordable category?
competitive market prices, and then will be affordable We have, by our zoning ordinances, 12.5% of the units will be affordable. And that's important because we know from one of our recent developments where we had a lottery, more than 600 families applied for 23 units. And what we do not want to build is are gated communities. We want a community that is mixed socially, economically, and culturally. And that's how all our squares are defined.
So what's wrong with calling it outlet stores? They're not?
No, the retail, what is fascinating about the retail strategy and this development is this is great housing and office and R&D space sewn together by a Main Street experience for shopping. So typically outlet stores are out in the suburbs and you drove far away. To have outlet strategy where you get high quality at value this close to the urban core is unique. So the feel would be the pedestrian feel, the streetscape feel as you do your shopping down Main Street in any neighborhood square.
So it's not a mall.
It's not a mall. We have a mall on the other side of the lot.
But the outlets are going to be like Ralph Lauren kind of stuff?
The outlets, the interesting outlets, though none have been announced, are of a really high value.
9 West, that kind of stuff?
High quality, those types, and of great value. And we know, I mean, since 2008, what we know from initial analysis, that's the type of retail people looking for. It's the experiential shopper. The person who wants to enjoy the lifestyle center, the shopping, the ambiance, the whole experience of a neighborhood.
What do you think this is going to do to downtown Somerville? Do you think it'll
Well, for Somerville,
impact there?
I mean, in the region, it's incredible. This is the perfect model of a public-private partnership between the city, the state, the federal government, and our private partner in Federal Realty Investment Trust. And what we've shown is investing in infrastructure, especially the down economy, more than $110 million of taxpayer money has leveraged more than $1.5 billion of private investment. What that'll do is create tens of thousands of new and permanent jobs for the city, for the state, for the region. For the city alone in property tax revenue at full build-out, 17 net new million property tax dollars per year. That's not including the tens of millions of dollars of net new tax revenues to the Commonwealth. So really, the private taxpayers' money was wisely invested, and it's garnering an incredible return for the city and the region.
Will it have an impact at all on, regular folks' property taxes?
Absolutely. By expanding our commercial tax-based revenue,
you think it should go down?
Right. We
promise
should
that?
balance that. Well, it would definitely have a major hit on it because today, our tax base ratio is divided by 78% of it being the residential property taxpayer and only 22 the commercial property taxpayer. We need to balance that out. Across the river, just across the roadway in the river in Cambridge, it's probably about 60-40 in the opposite. So we need to be more competitive, relieve the burden on the residential property taxpayer, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, so do you have a lead on any high-tech firms that you can...
Well, right now we're in those conversations. So as what we know from what's happening in Kendall Square, there's a migration happening where CEOs and companies are making decisions where they're going to be 5 years as their company expands, as Kendall Square is about completely built out. And what has happened in the last 20 years is Somerville was never prepared, whether it be Union Square and Boynton Yards or here in Assembly Square. We've always got leapfrog for 120 and 495, but we're ready now. We have a site under development. We're ready to build to suit for any new company looking to expand or relocate. And we're going to be highly competitive. And we're hearing back from CEOs going to be very desirable.
Right, so the shovels go in next spring.
The buildings come out of the ground next spring. Yep.
Oh, the buildings come out of the ground. All right, Somerville Mayor Joseph Curtatone will be following that project. Thanks for having you here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, when we continue, 2 inspirational photographers with their inspirational women.